the lessons we've learned are?
Well, I like to look at the lessons in three different ways. There's three layers of thinking that one should be taking about Fukushima. One is the technology lesson, which is to look at what went right and what went wrong at the reactors technically. Okay, understanding the elevated spent fuel pool and the fact that probably half the water jumped in this gigantic earthquake and nobody could get up there to look, and voila, suddenly the pool levels were low and we had issues. Okay, the technical problems. And that's, to your point, Mark, the detailed research into the technical issues that went wrong. The second layer is the corporate failures. So looking at what happened with TEPCO and the failures to get the right people at the right time, perhaps. It's not as clear. That's information that's going to take more time to get out because, frankly, TEPCO right now is up to its eyeballs in trying to fix the problem and doesn't have time to spend hours and hours and hours answering questions from everybody on the planet about what they did or didn't do correctly corporately. And then the third issue is the larger political issue of looking at how Japan, as a country, both considered the risks, whether or not the likelihood of a large earthquake and tsunami at the Fukushima site was something they should be planning for, and whether or not they, as a country, responded well. And we're hearing some of the stories about interference from the government in the actual response. And I think of the BP oil spill when I think of that, and remember all the questions to the guy from the government that was running that saying, why isn't the government stepping in and taking over? And he said rightly, because we don't have the equipment or the expertise. But we hear stories out of Japan that the Prime Minister was listening to people and trying to tell them how to run the plant, fix the plant in the middle of a crisis. So I think you have to look at those three different categories of lessons and consider them somewhat independently, because if you start to confound those three issues, corporate, technical, corporate, and political, you start to get confused about what was really going on and what you really need to think about.
Ed Davis, tell us